Venus and Virgo. So Venus and Virgo, these people, think, and they're logical in the heart too. But they're not just logical; they're mostly, practical. They do things for people, But when they do things for people, they do it to the best of their ability, and not just for the ones they love, but for the ones they love, they definitely make sure they go all out and shit, at the right time and other shit too. Um, but they'll make sure they take note of what you like. You might like you know this type of food and like to be at this type of place. You know, like these type of things for entertainment and other things. This person, when they give gifts and shit, right? When they do, they make sure they, get that, exactly what you wanted and shit. And you're like, damn, this is exactly what I wanted. It's like, it ain't like you have to go back to the store and like fucking, get something else. This person actually took note of what you like in here, and they were like, I heard you, you want this, you know, but sometimes, it might be you have to, in order to get something from somebody, you have to, show this person too that like to cost what they have to say to you, because they have a plan and other stuff, and you have to, for you to be with this person, you have to be down for, somebody who likes to, he calls the details, and all the time this person does that, they find themselves, sometimes, it could be considered overthinking, but it's not, they get shit done. These people like to, have, you know, they like the physical touch too. Not as much as somebody like me, though. Believe that too. Because they like conversation too. They like the mental stimulation. You have to kind of know some things about something, and they like to learn and other stuff too. And then they also like to teach what they know and show you what they like to do. If you're down to stick around, and like I said, for the people they love, they take note of things, and they do that. They like, this person, likes this, you know, my girlfriend likes this, my, family member likes this, likes that, and like, not just in a general sense, but like to the T. He doesn't like, or he or she doesn't like this specifically. They like this specific thing and all that. They take note of all that shit. They make sure they do that, and they do that for the ones they love. Other people that they don't care about, um, they won't. He calls their, I like, this, and I like specifically this, that. Not random ass people, the people that they actually love in their, heart. And they'll do, for them at the right time. Birthdays and other things, anniversaries, give gifts, and other things. They'll go above and beyond for that. They put some thought and effort into shit like that. These people do. If you're on some like dumbass shit, they'll know too. These people ain't, dumb in the heart chakra. They actually ain't. But they may think too much, and they might not allow, for certain entertainment to be around, as they don't want their mind being corrupted by that dumb shit, or that, not that dumb shit, but that weak shit that you do. If you're like of other signage and shit, they might not like that, so they'll keep that shit at bay. They also know how to, like, similarly as me, they know how to keep shit at bay, but like they don't necessarily have to always talk about things. They take note of things and then they stay the fuck away. Okay, well, this person did this and did that. They're probably likely to do that again, or something. This person, seems like the type to do this, and that's how they manage their heart. They think about things before they take actions for the thing they love, you know, for their loved ones and all that shit. is, how Virgo, um, in Venus acts in the general sense. Stay cool on the corner, you know, and rock on if you're one of these types.